This is my second video on contour line drawing, and I called it Sculpting Form with Contour Lines because it's really very analogous to being a sculptor in 2 dimensions. You can see I started this page by throwing down 3 ellipses, all basically the same size and shapes, but each one will turn out very differently. And that's because I'm using contour lines and part breakup to explore different possibilities of what can be generated from one form. I'm making sure to throw my minor axis for alignment so that I know how to align my pen and arm. Here I'm going in and by merely throwing an ellipse on top, I'm able to form a recess. Now, with different contour lines, that could also be a bulge coming out of the elliptoid form, but I chose to go in. It looks more like a kind of a grip area. Maybe this product on the bottom right would be some kind of scrubbing pad or something of that nature. On this form, I decided to actually use the contour lines that I threw down initially, and I'm going to use them as part lines. And you can see I'm creating a transition. I'm creating a bevel into the contour line, or what is now the part line. So I'm adding some wall thicknesses. I think the end pieces on this design will be maybe clear. I think I'm going to add a base to it, but I'm just going to imply it. There's really no need for a whole lot of detail at this point. So I'm just indicating that there's a base. Maybe it's a charging base, maybe it's a mounting bracket. I don't know. It's really not important because, quite frankly, I'm not even sure what this product is at this point. This is merely form exploration. Now on the edge of this opening that I'm working on right here, right? As it's drawn, it could be perceived as flat, but I actually want to create a radius rolling into that recess. So I'm going to do that by putting down contour lines. So there's a soft radius up to the edge, and then the edge itself would be radiused. Here's a slide button of some kind. Applied detail with 3 little recesses on it. And now you can see that I'm going around. I'm not spending too much time on one particular shape or form. I'm working around because as I do one thing on one form, I'm having other ideas, and I'm utilizing the other shapes to go and implement some of those ideas. So they kind of all develop together. And some will be better than others. They always are. So here the hatchwork that I normally incorporate into a lot of my sketching is to create some contrast. I think ultimately, even though for a lot of early concept drawings, I wouldn't go to the extent of adding a whole lot of marker, but in these videos, I'm going to go ahead and incorporate marker usage, and that's just for your benefit to be able to go and experiment more with it, with the medium. So now if you watch how I apply this, there's going to be certain areas that are left white, even within the blue field, and that can represent various things. So I want these end pieces here to be shiny, a shiny plastic material. So those white areas that I'm leaving represent strong reflections on those pieces. Here again, I'm reinforcing the fact that this is a recessed area, a kind of a grip area, and the rolling edge of the top piece, the white piece, I want to put some shadow on that as well. And really it's just to help accentuate the form. And I'm not trying to paint by number. I don't need or want to fill everything in. It's really, as always, a matter of how little can I do to get the most out of the sketch. So this is a way you can indicate transparency, right? You can see, kind of look through, see some kind of internal part. I'm also implying the wall thickness on those pieces, reinforcing the shape of the button here, reinforcing the shape of the base by having it roll into a slightly darker blue. Now it's the same marker. I've just let the marker dry on the first go round. So that's where you have to be patient. Let it dry, then come back. This is kind of a central vignette that will anchor all three sketches. I'll need to reinforce, I think, in every video that I do, at least initially here, that there's no guides. I'm not using any circle guides or ellipse guides or even French curves or straight edges. I want to keep it super loose, but it's loose in style, but there is a level of precision that's conveyed. And as I've mentioned several times, we're sketching for the manufactured world. So you have to make it believable, and you need that implied realism in order for your audience to be able to completely understand it. So even without knowing what material that piece is going to be, I'm adding some dots or flecks in there. And that just is an indication of either a textural change or an actual material change, or both, quite frankly. On these shiny end pieces, I want to reinforce the refraction of light, and that's best done with a Prismacolor pencil, white Prismacolor. And this is actually getting pretty close to being done. I wouldn't want to invest too much more time in this sketch. Maybe some more line weight. Again, that will help punch it off the page a little bit. You can see how much I'm turning my page, right? I've said that in several videos. I'm constantly turning the page to kind of leverage the right angle for my hand. There, I'm outlining the reflection areas. It's just kind of a stylized technique. A little bit more contrast underneath on the top of the stand. Now here also more contrast in my line weight. So there's a couple little more details I'm throwing in there just to make it look like a product, even though I can't actually tell you what the product is right now. These are strictly form explorations. But that's kind of how you start ideating, is sometimes you just start with the form, see where it leads. It'll spawn other ideas. That's about it. So I want you guys to practice this and start by laying down some ellipses and then see how you can transform them into believable products, three-dimensional products with contour lines. and I'll see you in the next video.